Okunnu, SANCON.
All other protocols observed. I must thank the Governing Council of Lagos University for this great honor. I have very few words to say on this occasion, except to make one or two points. The Pro-Chancellor had spoken very briefly today about education. The governments, the state governments, and the federal government ought to do a lot about education, especially secondary education. The state governments, as I said, especially in many parts of the country, the southern parts are lucky with the governments involved in evolution of primary and secondary education by instituting educational schools. The private sector, especially the missions, also, in fact, started the struggle for Western education. Unfortunately, in the northern parts of the country, that effort, either by the private sector or the governments, the state governments themselves, I'm yet to see the signs of seriousness about education in the country. Education is a state function under the Constitution. But the states, as we know, are starved because, unlike the 1963 Constitution, which was in operation until 1979, the states were well funded under the financial regime at that time, when we lost fiscal federalism. Today is not for politicking, but I just thought I must make that statement as a challenge to those parts of the country where the governments of the states are yet to wake up to educate the Nigerian child, and also the private sector, especially the indigents, as it happened in other parts of the country. The second point I want to emphasize or to make is about you young persons. Nigeria is in need of patriotism. There are very few patriots in the country to work for Nigeria, to serve Nigeria, to die for Nigeria. Too many of our politicians are after money. I challenge you young persons, you young graduates, you are going to the world not in pursuit of money, but as a result of the education you received from this great institution, to serve this country. Take over the leadership, not necessarily following the pattern of politics today. Evolve a new way of running governments. As I've said, Emphasis must be on patriotism. That is the short message I want to deliver to you young men and women, and those of you, your colleagues who are not here, but to address those of you young graduates. Well, thank you for the honor you've done to me. God bless.